It's March, it's bracket time, and it's Average Sports. Hey guys, hey Eric.
How's it going, Ty?
Hey, this is a quick show. It's an intermittent one that we're going to toss in here because it's that special time of year where everyone gets excited for the brackets. I know I'm excited. I think I filled out probably 6, maybe a 7th one later tonight. What do you want, Eric?
0. I have filled out a whopping 0.
You've filled out no brackets.
No brackets.
It's free to enter, and you have everything to gain. Why would you not do it?
I'm going to fill one out before we get to tomorrow.
Okay, all right. Well, let's jump right into it. We only have a few minutes. We want to give you guys the idea of the best average bracket. We're not going to say using our advice is going to get you to win maybe an office bracket pool, but you're definitely not going to come in last. You're going to go average all the way with some of our tips and some things that I think are valid and worth keeping in mind, right?
With that in mind, correct, man.
Yeah, I don't know how much already you want to listen to a guy who hasn't filled out a single bracket yet, but I think he's got some good tips coming for you guys. By the way, we are looking at the current Arizona State and Syracuse game in the second half right now as we record this, so we are not going to be 100% up to date on what's going on with the bracket, but let's start there with those bubble teams. I think that's the best matchup as well that we can consider heading into the bracket. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's really important to know, research is really what pays off when you do this, and even just doing it averagely.
Totally.
You need to know what you're looking at. You need to know some of the terms and things like that. So, when you get to those key matchups of that 8 versus 9, and they have that identical, 21-10, 20-11, whatever record, that you kind of know what the difference is between the two teams, and knowing what their strength of schedule is and how they played against those higher ranked teams is going to be really crucial for you. So spend the 5 minutes to go look at those tough matchups that you're going to struggle with. The best place to find that is warrennolan.com. They have all of that strength of schedule matchup there. So if you're into that, that's a good place to check out.
Check you out. Giving a shameless plug there. I dig it. Between that matchup, though, with Syracuse and Arizona State, no matter who winds up winning that game, I could see either of those teams making it into the round of 32.
Yeah, I could too. Arizona State, their offense has been a little slow tonight, but they are the top scoring offense in the Pac-12. So they can definitely put up some points. That's definitely dangerous this time of year.
Yeah.
When you talk about that matchup, especially when you're talking that 11 seed, versus the 6, it's a big time matchup.
Absolutely.
Most recently, in the last 2 years, the 11 seeds are 6-2 in that matchup. So Definitely a popular upset pick for sure.
Yeah. So if you're an individual who's new to filling out brackets and you think, well, that's a higher seed, let's just go ahead and send them on. Pump the brakes there. Yeah, because there's going to be some lower seeds. Certainly, there's never a year there isn't some crazy upset, and there's going to be several overall considered upsets throughout the tournament. It just is the way it's going to be. It is going to play out, because when you have one game tournaments and not a best of, even though on paper a team's going to seem better, you're always going to find a lower seed being able to upset. So with that in mind, though, let's start from the top on any of the 1 seeds. Go ahead and move them into the round of 32. So that in case anyone is not aware, which this is a pretty common stat, no 16 seed has ever beat a 1 seed, and I think a 15 has beat a 2. Twice?
8 times.
8 times. Okay, so there's
8 times since 1979.
Okay, out of all the 15-2 matchups going on, which one would you have to take? I don't think any is going to or any upset's going to happen for this year. But if you had to pick one, what do you think?
Oh, I don't like any of them. I mean, the 2 seeds are all really good. If I'm going to pick one, I'm going to pick CSU Fullerton, just because I'm not big on the Big Ten.
Right on. I like it. But how about let's get into some of the 13-4 matchups, getting into where that area of that realm of possibility, right? I think my favorite upset in the round of 64 comes out of the East, where Marshall, I think they have a real chance against Wichita State.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty decent call, to be quite honest with you. Wichita State's more of a household name nowadays, so I definitely think that's a really good one. I'm actually staying in the same bracket, but I'm moving a couple down. Stephen F. Austin over Texas Tech.
Really? See, I'm going to
Yep.
go out there and already release my sleeper then. Texas Tech, I could see them. Because I've watched several games. That team is resilient. They hang in there. They play tough. They're scrappy. And I think they could be a Sweet 16 sleeper without a doubt.
Yeah, I think it's possible. Stephen F. Austin in the last couple of years has been a strong team to have some of those upsets. And I think, that 13-14, it definitely happens a lot. One thing to keep in mind while you're making your brackets here is they don't ever move past the second round, though. So they have 11 wins since 2010 and have only moved past the second round twice.
Really good point. Another upset I want to throw out there. I like the Missouri Valley champs, Loyola, to maybe go against Miami and move on.
You know what? We were talking about this on our last episode, and I agree with you. I think Miami is in a very good spot to get upset here. Moving into the next round. So don't be surprised if you see Loyola Chicago move on from there over Miami either.
Cool. Let's give some guys some help on the 8 and 9 picks. Those are the toughest ones, arguably, because they're generally always split. I think I was just looking at Alabama and Virginia Tech on an ESPN bracket, and it's like 49% for Alabama and 51% for VTech, and that's going to be the case for the Creighton, Kansas State, and who else we have in the Midwest? You're looking at
Mizzou,
Seton
State,
Hall
Midwest,
and North
yeah.
Carolina. Yeah, and Mizzou and Florida State. So let's go start with, at the top left of everyone's bracket in the South, the Creighton and Kansas State game. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with Kansas State.
Because you should
playing...
generally mix in a couple of 9s, a couple of 8s. I mean, that's, I think, your conventional wisdom there, right?
Yeah, I think you can mix it in there. I did look both of these teams up. I think they're pretty even, as it shows here as well, too, being an 8-9 seed. I'm just going to go ahead and pick the team that definitely played against tougher competition when it really comes down to it.
And for Virginia Tech over Alabama, I'm going to go with Virginia Tech on that one, unless you disagree.
I'm actually going to take Alabama. I think they're playing really good basketball right now. They ran into the freight train that is Kentucky right now, and they've been playing outstanding basketball.
All right.
Going through the SEC tournament, but both of those teams are very up and down.
Seton Hall,
but I
NC
wouldn't be
State.
surprised that Alabama's going to move on.
Another good matchup. I like NC State.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take NC State as well too, and I have nothing to back that up.
Not at all. And Missouri, Florida State. Missouri, though, is missing a key player.
I'm interested in this because can Michael Porter Jr., who is arguably one of the top 5 players that's going to go in this draft, being out for injury most of the season,
right?
His first game back was terrible. It was god awful. But is this one game going to put him back? That one game, is it kind of just knocking the rust off? Are they going to be able to play? If Michael Porter Jr. is on, Missouri no doubt wins this game against Florida State. It's not even going to be close. If he is shaky or middle of the road at best, it's going to leave it open for Florida State to go ahead and knock Mizzou off.
There you go. How about a sleeper for you, Eric?
My sleeper, I'm actually going to take Wichita State. I think they can make some noise. You never really. I think I still got Nova going to the Final Four, but Nova traditionally has done really, really poorly, and they do what Villanova does, which is lose.
You could say that with several
do.
of these number 1 seeds, other than UNC having tremendous success in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they are poised for another deep run. Absolutely. I don't know who's necessarily going to knock off UNC unless they have a Michigan matchup, maybe playing against Houston. They could have some trouble fits against Texas A&M or Providence if they wind up pulling that game out. But I think UNC's got a real chance.
Yeah, I think UNC's a solid club. I got them in my Final Four.
All right,
as well,
lay
too.
in your cards all on the table. If you had to pick one right now, who'd you go for?
Well, do you want my full Final Four? Because I got it for you.
Yeah, bring on your Final
Cincinnati.
Four.
I got Cincinnati in the South. I got UNC out of the West. I got Duke in the Midwest. And even though I just trashed Villanova a little bit, I still got Villanova coming out of the East. I'm going to go ahead and take UNC to win the whole thing.
Really? Doing a repeat?
Yeah, I really want to pick Virginia, but with that injury
that
they just had,
Virginia is going to live and die by their defense. They can still do it, though. And they say defenses win championships, but they got to put some points on the board as well to hang in there. Obviously a tough team. You know what? I'm going to go with... I think Michigan State's got a real chance. But Nova as well. So I think it's going to be those two guys in the Final Four. And then... I don't know. Cincinnati. Cincinnati's my deep run. That's right. And then I didn't check my sheets there. And I don't really like Xavier to go deep. Maybe North Carolina still in there. Maybe Michigan. I'm just going to leave it at that. Good luck with all your brackets. Eric, you just sit on the sidelines and be a bum, man.
Hey, man.
Do what you do.
I'll do it.
All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. That's our quick look at some brackets. An average bracket by some average guys. Thanks for tuning in. And if you like our show, don't forget you can subscribe. Tune in for our full episodes anywhere where you subscribe to any of your podcasts, including iTunes. We're on there now. Eric, any last words?
No, man, you got it all. That was very average, guys.
Super average. Peace.